From Otto Unruh Stadium, we have an opportunity on the Twin Valley Locker Room Show to invite back a Claeys Tiger to Otto Unruh Stadium. I know he spent a lot of time here. Coach Tracy Claeys, head coach of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And, Coach, first off, thanks so much for taking time out of what I know is a crazy schedule. You're talking about a little bit of the stuff going on right now.
Yeah, first off, I appreciate y'all having me back and asking me to do this. Anything I can help, and I'm very hometown proud. I love the area, and so whatever I can do to help, I sure will. But this time of the year is that you're heavy into recruiting, and the good thing is that they did put in a dead period where kids couldn't visit campus, and so that allowed me to come home this week. The recruiting part never stops, and so you do that every day. And then this same time, we're getting ready in less than a month here. We're going to get going with our own practices and that. And so to have everything organized, we have our best team back, and want to make sure we do everything we can to give our kids a chance to be successful.
A lot of us football fans, I'm a K-State ticket holder, and we've brought up the thought of going to tailgates. For you guys, September 1 is going to get here really quick, I know, for getting a staff together, and you've got some new guys on your staff.
Yeah, we do. We made some changes on offense, and we want to make sure that, everybody's on the same page. We've only had 14 days to do that in spring ball. And so this fall, the first 14 days be important that everybody's on the same page on how we want to attack people and what we want to get done. And really, anytime you coach, it's about asking kids to do what they can do best. And I just want to make sure all our thoughts are going towards, hey, let's do things that our kids do best on game day and not take a bunch of chances. And if we lose, let's go down with our fastball rather than a curveball. And so that's where the most of our time will be spent this next month.
Mentioned K-State. I know it's got a special place in your heart, this whole area does, and the Big 12 conference for that matter. But let's talk about your head coach, Jerry Kill, that had to step down, and you've stepped into that role, and now he's got a role at Kansas State University. I know you've been asked this question many times, but I'll ask it again. Jerry Kill, what does he mean to you?
Well, he's more than a personal friend. He's like a brother, and we've been together for 21 years, and he's taken awfully good care of me. And that's I've never applied for another job or looked anywhere, and he's a great person to work for. He's so loyal, and not only does he care about staff, but he cares about kids and true genuine person. So I don't think they could have hired anybody better to fit the culture around K-State, to give them some help and, helping out Coach Snyder and finishing out his career and then moving on in the transition whenever that comes.
As far as transitions, you've been with Coach Kill for a long time. You stepped up in defensive coordinator, and now you step into a head coaching position. I'm guessing you've gotten kind of used to that tab, but it is a big transition.
It really is. I was fortunate that Coach let me be involved in a lot of things within the football program, and it's still, though, it come down to a lot of times it was suggestions and not decisions. And so now you have to make the decisions, and that affects a lot of kids and a lot of people. And then at the same time, you always have outside entities that want part of your time, whether that's the media, whether that's fundraising, just all sorts of different causes. And so you have to find a way to balance all that and still make sure that your kids are getting the majority of your time in order to allow them to be successful. And so that's been the biggest challenge.
As you guys come off of last season, I know it was a tough year. Injuries just banged you up and down the lineup from start to finish, really. But you had a good finish to the season by getting into a bowl game and breaking a bowl skid for Minnesota. What's that time like for you now as a head coach to get those guys at extended time?
Yeah, it's the last year by winning the bowl game. That's the first time they won a bowl game in 10 years in Minnesota, and we got chosen because of how well we're doing in school, and so I'm awfully proud of that our kids are going to school. But I'll tell you, that bowl win gave our kids a lot of energy going into the off season, and it's the first time we've been able to witness that, and the workouts went tremendous. Spring ball, we went back to some good old like Clay Center High School practices. We got in pads and 40-minute mental drills and got after each other, and we're just trying to establish a little bit more of an attitude and to carry us over the top. We were close. Of our 7 losses, 6 of those teams had 10 wins, so we played a tough schedule, but we got to be able to fight through that and get over it, and I think we have the kids to do that.
I'm going to shift gears. You mentioned Clay Center practices. When's the last time you were in Otto Unruh Stadium?
Well, not to lie, but it was actually yesterday because I came over. We had some people in town, but between yesterday and when I left town is that I might have been here one time in the first 5 years I left home. So it's been at least 15 years since I've stepped in this stadium.
What's the feeling like when you walk in and you see the Otto Unruh sign and the press box and the sideline where you spent so much time?
It's tremendous. I owe a lot of my success to what happened here and in the football program with Larry Weimers. Coach did an awful lot for me, like he did a lot of people. But we were talking is that there was something going on here all the time, from junior high games to freshmen to JV to varsity. There's always stuff going on in this stadium, and I have a couple bad memories as far as some tough losses, but by far 95% of them were great things that happened here that I really believe not only help me, help a lot of people go on and be successful. So this place means a lot. I'm glad the community decided to keep it, and I've talked to Jan Kissinger, and I've thanked him, and they've done a tremendous job out here with their work. So it really means a lot to me that this is going to stay a part of the community for a while.
It's a centerpiece for football for this area, and I know there's people on both sides of the table, and that's the way it should be, and that's why you put it to a vote. But there is a special feeling walking into Otto Unruh Stadium, and I'm sure it is for you. I want to talk real quickly about when you made the leap into Division I football, and I know there is a long procession. To people that think this has been an overnight success ought to get the whole story. We don't have time to tell that whole story here today, but when you make that leap and you look back to where you came from on this sideline in Claeys Center, was that a dream? Was that a goal? Did you just, as you went along, kept raising the bar? Kind of tell us how that went down.
I think anybody wants to be at the highest level in their profession if they have the opportunity. And so just so happens when I started is that was all our goal on the staff is, hey, let's get to the highest level we can. But everywhere we were at, we treated like we were going to be there forever and done things right. And just so happens we beat the right people at the right time to catch some people's attention, just kept moving up. And next thing wow, we're at the highest level you can compete in college football and in the Big Ten Conference. And I've got to coach in some great stadiums and places I never thought I would, only dreamed of. And so it's been a great run for us, and now you look forward to continuing as long as we can. And nowadays there's no guarantee how long that'll last.
It's been fun for a lot of us to watch on TV and see Tracy in the headset and making things happen on the sideline. And I will guarantee you there's more people in Clay Center, Kansas that know Minnesota football now than they ever have before. So it's really, really fun. I do want to get you down on the sideline one more time before you get out of town and, are gone for several years again, and ask you a few more questions if you don't mind.
Oh, that'd be great. Thanks.
We're back with more Coach Tracy Claeys on the Twin Valley Locker Room Show. Back on the Twin Valley Locker Room Show. Twin Valley Locker Room is powered by Pulse Internet. All your devices, one superior connection. Again, joined by Coach Tracy Claeys in a little location that you probably marched up and down a few times, huh?
Yeah, we sure did. It was always good, and I wasn't very good on, especially on defense, so I stood over here quite a bit during that part. But it was always great. We always had great fans behind us, and it was exciting whenever you were on these sidelines.
Back here at Otto Unruh Stadium, we're going to do a thing we call Tiger Talk, and it's questions about who knows what. I did promise Coach it'd mainly be on football today. First off, favorite memory from this stadium, Otto Unruh Stadium. Do you have one that really stands out?
Yeah, I really do, and I don't know why I always remember, but Silver Lake came over here and played us the one year, and they were really good, and I think they're by far picked to win the 3A state, and it was a close ball game, but we ended up beating them here, and it's one of the biggest wins that I remember as far as outside of the conference is when we beat Silver Lake here.
Very cool. Favorite hangout in Clay Center during your high school years?
Boy, I still think it's just down on the square. I heard they don't get to ride around the square anymore and hang out down there, and boy, that was a tradition. We did that all the time, and so I really look forward to going down and cruising the square and hanging out there and seeing everybody.
Okay, number 3, name a teacher from CCCHS that had an impact on who you are today.
Well, I always say as far as a teacher goes, Jack McChesney had as big an impact as anybody, and he was extremely challenging, and and prepared you for what you're going to see later on, and if academically as far as the sciences go. And then Laura Pullman would be a close second because she was very much the same way with her history classes. You learned a lot and was very well prepared.
They challenged you, right?
They sure did. They challenged. In fact, I tell people is that, Mr. McChester, I remember the whole class didn't do very good on tests, and he chewed us all out. And first time I've ever been chewed out by a teacher. I had to coach before, but by a teacher. And so, I still believe that it's better to over demand than under demand.
Okay, we'll move on. I want to know a place in Minnesota. If some of us get up to Minnesota and get a chance to watch your football team, where is a place to eat or to visit that's a must visit?
Well, I'm still being raised agriculturally, and as I'm stuck on hamburgers quite a bit, and so there's a Cuzzy's place there that if you want to have a hamburger, that in my opinion has come out to be the best. And then, if you want to hang out there's all the lakes, and out on the lakes are great places. Maynard or Lord Fletcher's out on Lake Minnetonka. The weather's great, and they have big decks that set right on the water. So those would be my recommendations.
I'm going to close by letting you tell people. Phil Casper's been helping us today too, filming. I know you guys are good friends, and we know your family very well. But maybe for people that are just learning who Tracy Claeys is, talk about your family that's still around here.
Yeah, my sisters moved back here, but my folks have always been here. Bob has worked over here at Hutchinson, and he's just getting ready to retire here soon, which will be good. And Mom's retired, so they've always lived here, and I've been very proud of the community. And then my sister moved back here, and so she's around. Then my brother is south of town, closer to Chapman, him and his family, and he's got 2 girls, and so this area, we'll always be around it, and it means a lot. And we were able to we bought a small pasture down there by my brother, and we even got a few cattle now and that. And so I enjoy coming back. It means a lot to see the people here who are part of raising all of us, and getting to see so many people that you went to school with. So and then I don't lie. Since Jimmy's taken over, Jimmy's a good friend of mine. Thatcher being the mayor's, the streets, and just getting things cleaned up. It's a great place now to come back and drive through, and the improvements that everybody's made. So I'm awfully proud of where I come from. I
know Clay Center is proud to call you a native and one of our own, and I will guarantee you Thursday night, September 1st to start, Oregon State. Yes. There'll be a lot of people tuned in saying go Gophers. Tracy, thanks so much for your time here today.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. The Twin Valley Locker Room Show with Coach Tracy Claeys.